We have on with us right now Mark Reed. He's running for Congress in the 30th district here in California. This man is just up against the wall in terms of the establishment, but not the right establishment, the wrong establishment, especially for California, those people who are causing problems and not allowing the people to really hear the message that these candidates, strong candidates, have to share with the people. Mark, you were just telling me something off the air that was really disturbing to me about venues.
Oh, yes. Brad Sherman is really shutting down our ability to get out to hold him accountable to his district. He refuses to debate. A veterans organization, a synagogue, two churches, a battered woman, of all things, a battered women's organization wanted to debate as well. And he said no to every single one of them. I'm going to put this out there right now. And that is, if you think that your congressman should be held accountable by his constituents in his district, call his campaign manager, Noah. And his telephone number is 818-825-3163. Again, 818-825-3163.
And call DC. And call DC. Call the message there. Write letters. Do it all. Get out and vote.
The whole thing, but just inundate that guy's phone with phone calls and say, you know what, we want him to be held accountable to his district. He works for us. He doesn't work for the lobbyists in Washington, D.C. He doesn't work for special interest groups. He works for us. If he really believes in women's rights, then he should have at least accepted the one debate from the Battered Women's Association that wanted him there. I'm speaking there this Saturday.
They want to know their options. They want to know, people want to know their options.
Well, it's not that they just want to know their options. They want to hold their representative accountable for his past and his votes and the lack of attention that he's been given to his district.
Well, that as well. So they need to get also out there and vote and get their neighbor to vote and their mom and daughter and sister and brother and whoever is eligible to vote. And to vote for Mark Reed, right? For California's
Absolutely.
30th district. So now you've been invited to speak many different venues. Some of them you've been shut out of from certain interests or by certain interests, but you're actually able to then at a later date, like you just said, get in there to speak and let them hear your message.
Well, I was going to say, Erin, despite Brad Sherman's best attempts at shutting me down, we have still been invited into temples, into synagogues, into shuls, into Shabbats, into every venue you can think of. A lot of the churches, the Christian churches of the Hispanic community as well, have invited me. I was just at one last night where there was 450 Hispanics that are tired. This election is going to mirror the 2002 election where people came out and voted their values. They're not voting party anymore. And they look at the Democrat Party and they say that doesn't represent our values. And the Hispanic community has been notorious for voting Democrat. But they're finally looking at what's really in front of them after the Kavanaugh hearings, after all of the things that have been going on in Washington, D.C., and they said they're sick and tired. It's not just the walkaway movement. It is a massive ethnic movement away from the Democrat Party, which includes the Jewish vote in this district. This is why I'm being invited. I'm going to a bar mitzvah, and I'm going to be speaking after services this Saturday at 1 with 1,000 people there.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So these are big movements and big shifts that are taking place in the district.
And you'll also be able to speak to the youth as well there because they're families, which is wonderful because really politics shouldn't be this shunned thing where you have to plug your ears and turn off the TV. It should be serving the people, talking to people, finding out what the needs are, and being able to do the work, right? It shouldn't be this horrible thing that we see today. So I love that. I love that you're making it a family affair, that you're all ages, you know, in terms of your outreach. So
what people are sick of in politics is our representatives going to Washington, D.C. and bringing back the garbage from D.C. to us. What people want now is their representative to bring their voice to Washington, D.C. and bring back what Washington has to offer the district pertaining to programs. As I spoke in the last interview we did with the homelessness issues, with the mental health care issues, with the drug addiction issues. We're looking at mass epidemics that are taking place, that the feds have a tremendous amount of resources to offer us because they continue to pass bills and appropriation bills to deal with that. But we don't have an advocate in the district. We only have a party hack that brings back the voice of Washington, D.C. And let's face it, Erin, everybody thinks a politician is a hypocrite and a liar. And we've got one.
And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. You know, I don't see it as right versus left anymore in terms of voting. No. It's right versus wrong. And the people are looking at what's right for their family, what's right for their home, what's right for their community. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what's right is getting off that couch, getting out to vote, and getting people into office so you can be their voice in D.C., Absolutely. People like you. So, you know, we did talk about homelessness. We talked about veterans. We talked about programs. And, you know, we talked about a little bit about the border. But what I love really about what you had to share, for those who haven't seen Mark Reed's prior interview, go to the YouTube channel. Also look up his other interviews online. He has a great deal of information out there for you to look at. But what I loved about all of it is that it said community, family, 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 yep. Community, faith. You know, I mean, all through it.
Values.
Values. And you're a principled man. I just love that. So now, when people go to vote and they see your name, Mark Reed, for Congress, 30th District, and that other guy, what do you want them to think about when they see Mark Reed on the ballot to say, yes, that's my guy?
I just want them to think about my marriage of 41 years, my 3 adult children, my 10 grandchildren, and how my values mirror their values. Everybody comes from a family. Everybody is a brother or a sister, a husband, a father, a mother. Think about your own personal family values, and does the Washington, D.C. politics represent your values? I do. I will bring your voice to Washington, D.C. I will fight for what America stands for, and that's the kitchen table values. That's the families and the communities. This is what's important, and this is what this election is all about. It's not about the Kavanaugh hearings. It's not about all the corruption in D.C. It's not about the fight over Donald Trump. It's not about Hillary Clinton and all this other garbage. It's about what you want in your community, what you stand for. This is what I want you to see when you see my name, is I represent exactly what the majority of Americans are. That's hardworking, faith-based individuals who want their representative to represent their voice.
Right.
Yes, I do agree that they want somebody who is intelligent that can go there and deal with the national issues and geopolitical issues and also the foreign policy. I'm very abreast of that. I know those things well. But where my core values lie is right here in the community with the people. My loyalty are with the people who elect me and put me in office to go to D.C. And that's what my main core is right there.
That's wonderful. Mark Reed, your family values, I mean, they match up. And, you know, the corruption, you bring up the corruption, because I see when you have those fundamental value systems and you send somebody to D.C., sure, there's a lot of noise there with the Hillary Clintons and the Kavanaughs. All of that isn't being dealt with because we don't have people up there who are principled, who are leaders, and who will be the voice of their constituents. That's why we have all those issues up there. It's not because of anything more than that, I believe. We wouldn't be in this mess if we had individuals up there who were strong enough to stand united enough and be in the position where they represented those values at home. Unfortunately, we have career politicians who strong-arm their way and keep people like Mark Reed out of venues where the people can hear your voice. You know, Mark Reed, I'm going to ask you, where can people contribute to your campaign? Because my guess is you're going to need to put up radio ads, get out materials to the constituents, and that takes money.
They can go to markreedforcongress.com. There's a donation button right on there. They can donate whatever they want. One of the most heart-moving donations I got was a $10 check from a veteran who hand wrote a letter to me and said, I know that you're supporting the veterans. I know what you want to do with the entire VA system, but I definitely know what you want to do with the VA hospital pertaining to mental health care, to creating a sanctuary place for us to go to at the Sepulveda VA. And this is why I'm sending you the money. And it's all the money he had, because our veterans are our rock solid foundation of our principles and our values. They fought for them. So we need to attend to them more than anybody else in America.
It's so important. It's so important. Now, we have just a few minutes here. What else do you have to share with the potential constituents and our listeners here on the Erin Cruz Show? I want to give you as much time as we can to talk about the issues that matter to you and your constituents and the message you want to get out.
I think I've touched on the core issues that everybody believes in, because I have the same attitudes as America across the board of revamping our immigration policies. We need to continue supporting the economic policies that are there. Our foreign policies are on the right track.
Right.
Our renegotiation of trade deals, making fair and balanced trade deals, are right on track. I'm supportive of all of those things. However,
so you support our president in those initiatives. That's wonderful.
I support the policies that our president are putting forward because they are working. Historic low, unemployment. We have $10 trillion added to our GDP. It's unbelievable what's going on pertaining to policies. The riff-raff, days of our lives garbage that goes on in the daily news is really upsetting. But the one thing I want everybody to do, more than a donation, call that guy Noah. Hound him. Tell him you want that debate to take place, that you expect the congressman to be held accountable in his district and give the opportunity for everybody to see exactly their choice on November 6th. Otherwise, what he's doing is he's hiding behind his desk, he's hiding behind secrecy, and he is a coward. So call out Noah.
So the last thing I want to say is I want to call out the media. Media has a responsibility. NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox, you name it. They should be inviting, the local stations should be inviting both candidates to a debate or at least a public forum where they can display on public television both sides. Doesn't have to be one-sided. It can be both sides where you share your message. It doesn't even have to be heated. It can be primetime television. A good message, right?
Absolutely.
They have a responsibility.
On that one note, Fox Television, Fox News, cable news has had Brad Sherman on all the time. Although whenever they have him on there, he really shows what kind of an incompetent individual he is as a congressman. But Fox News hasn't invited me on there one time, and two of my PR people on my team have contacted the news agency constantly asking them to put me on there for fair and balance, especially in the last 45 days where they should give equal time.
Absolutely.
So people need to contact Fox and say, what's up?
Right. And I call out media, and sometimes people don't like it. I've called out even conservative pundits, or even, for example, Hannity. These people have a responsibility and a duty if they're going to be doing media. I've even said, somebody asked me, well, you only have Republicans on. I said, well, if the Democrats wanted to come on, they can call me.
Well, remember
they should call me.
Remember why Fox News was created. Fox News was created by Murdoch, who's actually a leftist, okay? But he wanted to supply the conservative message. He's making hundreds of millions of dollars off the conservative message, but yet he throttles it back so that way he can get his message across. But he does not want to unthrottle it and allow it to happen. So, Murdoch is just a leftist guy. He ties the hands of Hannity and the rest of them by not allowing certain things to take place. Because if they wanted to promote local candidates, if they wanted to promote different races than the ones that they wanted to promote, then they would have everybody on there. So I
NBC, I know in leftist land in the desert in Coachella Valley, where I live, okay, NBC is hosting a forum. I don't know if it's a debate. It kind of looks like a debate for the incumbent, which is a Democrat, and the conservative Republican who is running. I'm calling to NBC. You're doing it there in Coachella Valley. You could get a lot of viewers if you have Mark Reed on your show. The people deserve to hear the voice. And, of course, we'll put out there, obviously, on the Internet and everything else, and the people need to spread this message. But we have to hold people accountable every opportunity we can and work to help people like you, candidates like you, have that equality message and get that information out to the public. Well, you know what, Mark Reed, one last minute for the people? You want to tell them one last message?
I want them to log onto my website. We have a tremendous amount of information on there, and go to my Facebook page as well, and follow me on Twitter. The website is markreedforcongress.com. My Twitter is at Mark Reed 1776. Facebook is Mark Reed 2018. But I want you to understand that, yes, we need to hold our news agencies accountable, because they're supposed to be holding the incumbents accountable, but they're not doing their job.
Right. Well, thank you, Mark Reed, and Godspeed. Godspeed.
Thank you.
To hear more and to learn more on how you can make an impact or about the Erin Cruz Show, visit us online at erincruz.com. That's ERINCRUZ.com.